I'm getting into today's video, and these are the reasons of why men don't really open up to women. Because if you think about it, men don't really open up to other men. So that's why men find it really hard to open up to women. And I feel like I'm saying this, but only men will really experience this. Maybe it's the same thing for like women as well, but let me just get into the video. It's because the reason why men find it really hard to open up to women is because everything to do with like a guy, it's normally down to achievements, who they surround themselves with. And I feel like as well that when it comes to women, they do work hard for the things that they do. But at the same time, because women are like independent, I feel like as women, they are independent and that's amazing. And they do get praised more for it. But when it comes to a guy, they have to be independent and they're not always appreciated for it. Hello everyone, I'm getting into today's video. And these are the reasons of why men don't really open up to women. And I was going to say that I'm going to try and speak from both sides. So I'm not going to be biased at all when I do this video. And just remember that this is my opinion. So just sit back, relax, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. If you agree with me, like the video. And I'm just going to get into it right now. Firstly, the reason why guys don't really open up to women, in fact men, it's because of achievements, it's because of pressure. And when it comes to achievements, because for men, they have to normally compete. They're normally competing against other men. They're trying to be the best provider that they can and really have quality time with their partner. Not all the time, that's why I say quality time. Because men aren't going to always be available, and that's the same thing with women. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when it comes to men and women, they need to focus on how they're like spending their time. And I'm saying this because whenever you're with someone all the time, you realize you're not being as productive as you could be. I'm going to say this as my first point. When it comes to women, they're praised more for their looks and they're praised more for the work that they put in. And I'm going to say this, that when it comes to guys, they're not really as praised for the work that they put in. And most guys, when they look average, they're not getting the attention that they really want. So that's why they don't really open up to like women. I feel like as men and women, they have different experiences when it comes to relationships and career. I feel like it's very good as men and women to have your own career, to have your own separate lives, to really have friends that you look forward to seeing. Because it's not really about if you're really with each other all the time. And I'm saying this because when it comes to men, you realize that because you don't really know the person of who you're really with, because you're so focused on how good looking the woman is, you don't seem to look for other characteristics that the woman should have. And that's why when it comes to men and women, the reason why men may not open up to women is because they're not really talking to the right women. And that could be the guy's fault, it could be the woman's fault, it could be even the environment that you put yourself in. And I'm going to say this because depending on how you meet someone, you can't really change who the person is. And you need to realize that the places that you're going to, why is it that you're attracting certain people? And I'm saying this because when it comes to guys and women, you have to realize that if you're attracting toxic people, you're attracting people that you don't fully trust, sometimes it's not even on the women. And that's what I'm going to say when it comes to guys. Sometimes it's really on you and you have to be taking accountability. For example, if you're ignoring a woman's red flags, you're ignoring that a woman is toxic, and you don't really focus on the woman's behavior, because the thing is, you don't need to know everything about a person's past. If they tell you things and it seems like a red flag, you need to start taking note of it. And I'm trying to look at this from both sides, because when it comes to a guy, they may want to be friends with a woman, be with a woman because of how she looks, but then they don't look past their looks. And when people say that there's a right woman for everyone, it's because it really comes down to you putting in quality time, you're putting in effort. And going back to what I may have said earlier, that when it comes to self-improvement, guys have to do it. But then when it comes to women, I feel like the options are already laid out for them. I could be wrong, but that's just my thought process. And it's just really my opinion. And I'm going to say that when it comes to really guys not opening up, it's because like what I said earlier, they may not be praised for their looks. They may not be praised for the work that they put in. But when it comes to women, they're praised for their work and really how they look like. And I'm saying this because it should be a good thing. But then when it comes to women, I'm seeing it from both sides. Because, for example, as a woman, every guy that you're really talking to, that's why guys seem to get really attached to the woman that they're trying to talk to. And I'm saying this because I feel like with women, they're really rational when it comes to that type of thing. Because guys are very visual, that they like what they see, that, for example, they can't just be friends with women because they picture themselves being with the woman. And I'm not saying all guys, I'm saying at least some of them. And that's why it's very hard for guys to really open up to women. Because if they said how they're really thinking, if they said how they're really feeling, then they don't want to be rejected by women. Because I feel like as women, I might have said this in my other video, but it's easier for people to reject someone if they don't like them. And some guys don't really take that well. So that's why as a guy, you need to focus on your anger management. You need to focus on self-control. And you have to realize when it comes to relationships, women know who they want to be with as the best option. But when it comes to communication, you have to realize that women aren't really as direct. As a guy, you need to learn how to navigate through relationships. Like the thing is, women want this. They want guys that make money. They want guys that are tall, that can protect them, that are actually good at conversations. And you need to realize that as a guy, you have wants and needs as well. And you need to start looking for people that you can actually trust. Over time, you realize that looks fade. And you want to be with a woman that you can eventually settle down with. And I do understand that not everyone wants a family, but these are things that you just have to talk about. Like, you have to picture yourself being with a woman, and not just because she looks good, which I'll keep saying over and over again, because guys are very visual, but women, they prefer what they hear. So a woman may hear that a guy has good status, that they're very good at socializing with other women. And have you noticed as well that women, they seem to want to be with a guy that every other woman wants to be with? But when it comes to a guy, they want to be with a woman that looks good so that they can tell other people. And that's the thing, as a guy, you don't want it to be that you're talking to women that you don't trust. Because then if you tell a woman something that's really personal to you, they may bring it up in an argument. They may tell people everything that you're telling them. And you want to make sure as well that you're very careful when it comes to that. Because I feel like as a solution for us guys to really open up to women, you need to be able to open up to other guys first. Because when you're able to open up to other guys first, guys are more likely to have a direct conversation. If you really wanted to open up to a woman, you need to give her time. And that's why over time, you need to see how things are, so that way you build a connection first. And some people may disagree with me, but I think that you need to be friends with a woman first, see how they act like in all situations. If you open up to women straight away, and for example, a woman opens up to a guy straight away, you want to make sure that the person's actually listening to you, that they're not distracted. And the reason why I'm talking about men not opening up to women is because women find it easier to open up to men. They actually know how to keep the conversation going. They know how to get to the root cause of a problem. But I feel like when it comes to guys, they need to actually have a conversation with like other guys, so that way you're able to see the patterns for yourself of why you're in the situation, what is making you to feel this way. And if you're a person that likes to think out situations, it's very important to just write things down. And you need to make sure as well that it's the right woman. You need to even think about where you're actually meeting women. And that's why it's very hard for you to open up to women. And it could be a lot more than what I'm talking about. It could be your past, it could be your childhood. There's so much that I could dive into, but I feel like as a guy, you need to make sure that you're doing everything you can to find healthy ways of how you can express yourself. And just because I did this video does not mean you should feel pressured to just open up to just anyone. Like, that's why I'm just like telling you this, because it's good for you to be self-aware. But I'm just going to say this because when it comes to guys and women being open, it's very important that if you're going to open up to each other, that one person actually listens and the other person talks. And it's not where two people are talking at each other, but they're talking with each other.